Hello, I'm once again the Mustachioed Anarchist, and first off I want to apologize for not having a video last week. I've been pretty busy with school starting up again, and with school starting up again I might not be able to put out a video every week. It might be every two weeks, maybe longer, I'm not sure. I'm taking a pretty large load of classes and credits, so um, after the first couple weeks I'll probably have more of a set schedule of when I'll be putting up videos. I will still be on the seminars every time though, or every time that I can be, which will be most of the times. So if you just miss me too much and you need me every week, then you can go watch the seminars because those are good too. Watch them, please. We need more viewers. But so anyway, on to Ferguson. Uh, From what I've read about the incident that led to all of the violent protests in Ferguson, uh, the killing of Michael Brown, it seems that uh, the cop did not um, do his duty as he should have. He escalated it very much so, much more than it needed to be. From what I've read of the eyewitness accounts, I believe that this is how everything went down. Mike Brown and his friend were walking in the street. A officer drove up to them. I believe he first drove up to them, may have said something to them, and then reversed the car, stopped like really close to the two of them, opened up his door, and his door came back to him somehow, whether it just bounced off of Mike Brown and his friend because it was so close, or if one of them actually shoved the door back closed. I'm not positive, but the police officer grabbed Mike Brown through the window. Mike Brown tried to get away. As he tried getting away, the officer pulled out his gun. Mike and his friend ran down the street. Mike Brown was shot 4 times in the arm, and his friend hid behind a car. Mike Brown turned around, and he either stood in one place, put his hands up, or he rushed at the officer, but one of those two things happened, and he got shot twice in the head, which ended up killing him. Some people have justified Mike Brown's killing because he may have been rushing at the officer to attack him, but I feel that Mike Brown's actions of rushing at the officer are justified. If you're being shot at by somebody and you've already been hit 4 times and you think that there's not a whole lot of ways out but you want to survive this, you're going to do whatever you can to survive, and if you think taking out the man that is shooting at you is going to help you survive, then that's what you're going to do. And I feel like that's what happened here. He probably tried to attack the officer after already being shot 4 times, and then the officer put 2 more shots in his head and killed him. So, as I said, I think Mike Brown is justified in his actions. I think anybody else would have done the same thing, and that cop could have not used any lethal force whatsoever. It was for jaywalking. But also, there was a call for a strong-armed robbery that had happened where cigars were taken, and it is possible that Mike Brown was the one that robbed the cigars. It's possible that he wasn't. There's a video I've seen that claims to show Mike Brown paying for the cigars, but I don't know. I watched the video. I don't think I saw any money being exchanged. I'm not sure. The video was of really poor quality, so I couldn't really tell if there was anything in his hands at all when he reached across the counter for the cashier or whatever. I have no idea. I don't think that the video really shows either way, whether he stole the cigars or whether he paid for them. I'm not saying definitively because I don't know, but even if he did steal the cigars, he didn't deserve to be shot and killed. So because of this incident, Ferguson has had some very violent exchanges between cops and some violent protesters lately. Not all of the protesters have been violent protesters. Most of them have kept peaceful, but some of them have engaged in violence against the police. Although, from what I can tell, I think that the police are initiating most of the violence. I watched a live stream, I believe it was 3 days ago, and I watched as the police went to their cruiser, grabbed their shotguns, which I don't know if those are loaded with actual shells, like lethal shells, or if those are loaded with rubber bullets. But they grabbed their shotguns, they grabbed their helmets, and then they rushed into the crowd, and the crowd started to panic. Um, Very conveniently, as soon as they did this, all the cameras and everything went down until the reporters left the area, then the cameras magically worked again. I feel that that's very convenient, and I feel like the cops had maybe something to do with that. But, just speculation there. So as far as I can tell, the cops are the ones who are initiating the violence at these protests. So the violent protesters may just be defending themselves. Also, with the live streams that I watched in Ferguson, I believe 2 nights ago, maybe it was last night, no, it wasn't last night, it was 2 nights ago. I believe, I could be wrong on this, but I believe that was the first night that that the protests ended peacefully. And there was also a drop in police presence that day, I believe. And I believe that's probably why it ended peacefully, because there wasn't as many cops. But again, I think that after that, I think last night it may have gotten violent again. I'm not sure. My stance on violence is kind of complicated because I don't advocate for war, and I go as far to as to not support either side of a war because peace is better. This is also why I haven't really made a video on Gaza at all, because I don't support either side. While I don't believe in war, like I don't advocate for war, I also don't believe in not fighting back or defending when you're attacked. Or not defending when you're attacked, you know. I'm conflicted here on whether I should even support the side of the violent protesters in this case, because as I said, in war I support neither side, but in this case the protesters are defending themselves and fighting against police brutality. And then again, maybe I'm just lying to myself, and maybe I really do support violence. Violence is commonly seen as a terrible thing, but is it terrible that a peaceful revolution doesn't seem as good to me? Is it terrible that I use the word good when referring to violence? Am I a monster just like the entities I stand against because I have violence within me? I like to think of myself as a man of peace, but I know deep down that there is violence waiting to be unleashed. I feel it when I sword fight or airsoft with friends, when I see violence as sport, or when I see videos of riots. There's a part of me that enjoys the violence. This part is suppressed by my other desire to be peaceful. I believe Gandhi once said something along the lines of, "It is better to be violent if there is violence in your heart than to pretend to be peaceful when you're not." I don't believe that's an exact quote. It's just what I remember from watching the A-Team movie. Kind of a sad place to get a Gandhi quote from, I know. But nevertheless, it was a good quote, I thought. I should probably look up and figure out what the exact quote is, and I'll probably put that in the description below. Is this desire for violence within us all? Is it what yin and yang refer to, or am I simply the monster that I fear I am? Only a monster would wish for violence, right? V said that violence can be used for good. From V for Vendetta, I've noticed that I refer to movies quite a lot in my videos. Is violence against evil any better than violence against the innocent? We are taught that it is, from superheroes to war. We are taught that it's okay to be violent as long as it is against evil, or for money in the cases of boxing, MMA, and wrestling, any other such sports. This is part of that blurred morality I was talking about in the comments of my last video, my prison video. So I want to ask you guys, do you think violence can be used for good? Is it bad to enjoy violence? Why do people enjoy violence? Is a violent revolution less effective than a peaceful one? And can violence be used to obtain peace?